And so we're kind of going to one end of the spectrum to the other now. So we talked to Dr. Christine.
Our doctor's in here today.
About
Doctor,
who's actually handled Bubba's liver.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And was
handled
used
it carefully
and did a good job and all good.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished, and we're so thankful for him. And then there's this next guest. I remember vividly telling Bubba, I'm thankful, by the way, that you are here, ma'am. We were looking forward to meeting Travis's wife, and we really just wanted you to come with your friends and not bring your husband. And I told Bubba that I mean no ill will toward Travis, other than the fact that I think he's dangerous. And I said, so I would rather him not return after the chaos he's caused in the past. So just when I was feeling pretty good about it, would you like to tell the audience, Travis, with Skinwalker Ranch, Doctor, how long ago were you at Skinwalker Ranch?
Oh, I was there. Well, I left Wednesday. What's today?
He said Wednesday.
Yeah.
He didn't even say
48
last week.
hours.
Yeah.
48 hours.
This week.
It was about 30-something hours ago, you know.
Oh.
So you were at that place
Yes.
36 hours ago.
Yes.
Ain't you still on it?
Bubba.
Now, Travis, before we get started, do you mind here? I'm gonna Rick. Is
Yeah,
this hot?
yeah.
Can you
Here,
hand me
I'll pot it
okay?
up, buddy. There you
Rick,
go.
I need a little help. Will you help me scan Travis? Let's just be sure you got
Do
the
you
Geiger
mind,
counter.
Travis?
No,
that we scan you.
I have the same kit at home.
We're looking for radiation. We're looking for any magnetic fields. He may if he's been examined.
Bubba, is he
or
hot?
Any kind of probes put
Well,
in him or anything.
Tune your spectrum analyzer to 1.6
Yeah, we're
gigahertz.
looking-
It's usually when you see that is when it's time for
trouble
something to happen.
start. Well, let me
no.
be sure there's no
Look at
beacons
Bubba's
here
really
going around.
scanning him.
Bubba's got it
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, we're-
You could help him at Skinwalker.
So I
Bubba's
keep
got
seeing
some
104.7 pretty strong, but other than that, we're all right.
Okay. No,
I think we're all right. At least what we can detect.
All
Right.
He's only slightly hotter than Chernobyl.
So you guys will like this.
That's funny.
Since the last time I saw you, what was it, a couple months ago, maybe 3 months ago, I forget. Well, I'd just gone to the ranch, come home, and then I had to have an emergency appendectomy.
Good night. Do you remember Ghostbusters? What have you done?
I know. Don't cross the stream.
What have you done? Right.
So I just thought I'd pass that along, for Bubba.
How
just
many
so he-
organs is this show going to cost us? You know what I mean?
I'm thankful my gallbladder is gone because I know it'd be doomed.
Yeah, now Greg's closest to him.
Yeah,
Here goes mine.
right. Yeah, check me out, buddy.
That
So,
1.6 lights up. Hey, all bets are off.
That's right.
That's it.
so Travis, so you were telling us this was kind of your wife really wanted to come see the show today. Did you not know way you could talk her out of it?
Oh, no way I could talk her out of it. That's right. They watch the podcast and everything
Thank you.
every morning, and so and they're really excited about the Wheel of Meat, by the way.
Oh, that's been coming
yeah.
up. Oh, Wheel of Meat. Yeah.
So many people say that.
Yeah. With budget cuts, it's now the wonderful Wheel of Canned Meat. We're doing it.
Right. We've had to cut back.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So all right. So let's talk season 5.
Yeah.
Can you believe 5 seasons?
Season 5, Skinwalker Ranch.
When I first went out there, I was expecting, okay, I'm going to be there about 2 days and figure out this just a place on the map, and it's all a bunch of hooey. But then as the crazy stuff started happening and getting crazier, you won't believe what happened and what we found in last summer.
So
Oh,
you have not, so far in the first 4 seasons, you've produced no alien. We don't have an alien body. We don't have a spaceship. But you got a lot of weird other things going on that you've documented with some very high-tech stuff, which is my favorite part of the show.
Now, we did pull out some
As
metal.
you notice, I go out and buy everything y'all play with.
We did pull out some metal of the Mesa that is very similar to the kind of material that is used on spacecraft.
Right. You were drilling, but you
What?
couldn't. You kept hitting it and knocking you off.
I'm begging you to leave that place.
Is that Indian still walking around?
Oh, yeah, there's all sorts of stuff that goes on.
The
Y'all
Indian, the Indian hadn't come to your trailer again, has he? I'm begging you.
Oh,
That's
no.
bizarre.
Travis,
The Indian's back.
The one show.
I had a conversation with him this week, actually. So.
Travis, he's serious.
Did he
I
tell?
know he is.
Did he tell you anything we need to know, or that you can pass along?
Something about tornadoes, man. It keeps coming back to tornadoes every time, and I think it's about a vortex. Actually, I think it's my subconscious calculating what I'm measuring and not realizing it, and it's something about a vortex.
Does anybody remember
guys-
what Bubba just updated us on
Yeah,
last
you-
hour? Anybody?
I know.
You have been able to document and show that there is something that looks like a tornado, for lack of a better term, some kind of spinning funnel that is located there.
Yeah.
And you've documented it several times. To me, the one that still bothers me is when the helicopter kept getting a reading like something was 10 foot under it.
That was scary when you were in the helicopter.
Yeah, and obviously you were thousands of feet in the air, but it was very disturbing to the pilot. But then there was video evidence of that flight where you could see something distorting the light underneath you.
Yes,
and to me that creeped me out more than anything.
Well, the LiDAR detector.
More than the Indian coming in his trailer?
Yeah.
Well, from the dead?
Look, I'm going with the instruments, Rick.
One
the
Indian visit, I'm out.
Everybody said Rick was on half an episode. Yeah, Rick, what happened? Ghost Indian came in, I'm out.
I'm out of here.
Going home.
So anyway, but there's more discoveries.
Yes, there's actually something that is it's actually unbelievable. We found something.
So far, nothing's unbelievable.
No,
we just
we've
now
got 4
to,
seasons of stuff we can't go to bed after we've watched.
Well, just give up sleep after this one.
Oh no!
I'm begging you to leave. Your hair looks like it's sticking up more than it usually does.
Well, I just got back, right? It takes a couple weeks for it to lay back down.
It's a share here.
But we actually had physical engagements with the ranch last summer.
What do you mean physical engagement?
What do you mean by that?
What are you talking
Yes,
about?
yes.
Talking about?
There was a literal.
being?
We literally had some of the crew had post traumatic stress syndrome after the events that occurred.
So the
See,
ranch
that's not a
came
good
after
thing.
you.
It actually did.
Oh my goodness!
And we're gonna see that.
You
thought it was
will
gonna
see it.
happen.
I can't tell you what happened,
called this.
but if you'll watch the promo for the new season, that shows a little glimpse of when it starts.
Oh, we need to play it, Adler.
Can we see it?
I don't.
Can we?
He's searching.
I'm sure it's on. I'm sure
All
it's
right,
out there.
let's do it when we come back because we only got a minute. Let me say this. So, like the ranch itself, we've all been there. You're tolerating something, and then finally you go, "That's it,
I'm out."
So was it that? Did the ranch finally say, "That's it"?
There were a couple people who are not going to come back.
Well,
What?
There you go.
But as clearly, I went back. So
I was going to say, you're not one of them. That's right.
I'm looking at your wife.
I know. She can't believe it.
Do you have to call her and tell her?
she don't
these
believe
things?
it. She thinks I'm crazy.
Man,
She says, "You sure it wasn't your imagination running away with you?"
I want to warn you this.
But it was LiDAR.
I want to warn you about this, and listen to me loud and clear.
Look at
These
this one.
insurance people always try to beat you out of money. His policy. They're not going to go with killed by a ranch. They're not going to pay you. You're not going to get the money. You better go back and check that fine print. And what does this? What category does this fall under?
I told Dragon that no matter what happens to me, to make sure he backs the Jeep over me.
Right, don't leave. You're right. No matter what happens.
There's a ghost Indian.
Have
just
something
drive
they
over
can
me.
hang their hat on and has a code, right?
That's
Get
right,
by
yeah.
vehicle.
Yeah,
Okay, got it.
That's really good. That's actually smart. So just call. I just check fine print. They'll try to beat you out of it. I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll come back. So can we see a snippet?
Oh,
we have a
yeah.
snippet.
Uh-huh.
He's looking for it. All right, we'll see. All right, Skinwalker Ranch Season 5. Dr. Travis Taylor is our guest. His wife and friends are part of our Golden Ticket Seat guest today. He was here just to visit, but he's here so we must speak. Season 5, Skinwalker Ranch, and I think Adler has found the snippet. So do we, fellas, in the audience, do we want to have a look?
Yeah, let's see.
Here we go, new
Here we go.
season.
All right, here we go.
We are on the cusp of proving the reality of the phenomena and the secret of Skinwalker Ranch.
Are you seeing this?
They're coming down!
Oh my God.
Is the military letting us know we're being watched?
I don't think the public is ready for what you got.
The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. New season premieres Tuesday, April 23rd at 10. Part of history's strange and unusual.
Next Tuesday.
Well, the timing of you being here is perfect. Isn't it?
Yeah, it seems like a coincidence.
It's like we planned it.
Or maybe a ghost Indian set it up.
There you go.
So let's. Do we want to dive in?
What did we
Let me
see
just tell
there
everybody this
that
first of
you
all.
referred
If
to?
you're out there, don't panic. We'll let Travis enjoy the Golden Ticket Seats next hour, but we'll just take a phone call segment next segment. Right now, we'll continue to talk a little bit.
So what did we see there that was the snippet that got close to something that's going to blow?
Well,
us
you
away?
saw that big array of drones in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not going to tell you anything about it, but we call that night Droneageddon.
Droneageddon.
Oh,
Now you've had drones before,
Yeah,
and
not like this.
they couldn't hold formation. They were very sporadic.
Yeah, this is different. This is we did an experiment where we wanted to see if there were GPS anomalies in 2 locations at once, and we had the drone company, which they make $500,000 a night at a show. You know, like they work for like the Olympics and the World Cup.
It's impressive what they
same
do.
company.
Yeah.
And they did it for us. They just came out for free to do it, right?
I bet they regret that.
To a tune of about $1 million.
Hey, no.
what?
And that's
Drones didn't fare very
and
well.
Leave
I
it
probably
there.
said more than
I knew I'd get it out of it.
That's quite the tease right there.
I get the drone again.
When people say they're making this up, we don't have a budget to make this up.
Oh, wow! I know they're all over us.
Aliens knocking them down.
So Travis,
I mean-
during the break between seasons, you guys have been on a live tour. What is that like?
Oh yeah, that's it's really interesting. In fact, they're asking us to do it again next year after we're out there next summer. So we show kind of some stuff that we haven't shown on the show in a live format, about 90 minutes long. And Eric comes in live from the ranch while we're doing it to wherever we are, and myself and Dragon and Thomas and maybe Caleb. He's going to leapfrog in there, I think. And we tell things that have happened that you don't really get to see from the show. And
What could that possibly be?
the show's 42 minutes and a half long, and we have 40, 50 cameras running for a full week for each of those 42 minutes. So think about all the stuff that's going on there, you know, that you're not seeing.
I thought my game camera pictures were interesting.
Yeah, I know.
Oh well, we have some really cool game cameras.
I bet you do.
Really crazy
I
stuff.
bet you do. Two-headed coyotes.
On one of the episodes, you have
Did you see his face?
on one of your time-elapse cameras a giant silver ball sitting in the middle of a field.
Yeah, it looks a lot like the Mosul orb.
Yeah, and it just disappears. It pops in. Any leads on what that was at this point?
No,
Other than a giant silver ball sitting in the middle of the field?
So we have a plan to get the same camera set up, same location, same kind of time of day.
What the?
And get a bunch of different sized spheres and move them through the field to see if we can kind of recreate the trajectory. But that's a low priority compared to so many other things that have happened. And we'll get around to that.
Keep in mind that the silver ball in the middle of the field on the game camera, we don't have time for that.
Right.
That makes the
The
cut.
giant silver ball that appeared out of nowhere, Rick,
Right.
landed and then disappeared.
Yeah, we'll get to that
In
later.
Chilton
No time
County,
for
we
that.
would talk about that picture for years.
Well, we've got things on video flying into the mesa and flying out of the mesa. And now we've got it several times.
Hey, have you seen that
yeah.
game camera picture, that big silver ball sitting out there? Yeah. So, all right, now I want to say this. I saw your reaction. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not giving anything away because this is back early when y'all heard about these hounds of hell that had chased people out
The
there.
actual ship.
So you
know,
ship.
yeah,
Whoa!
yeah.
Let's see. Let me.
And when I said game camera pictures, I saw your face.
shape,
But this ain't
shifters.
nothing new. I mean, we talked about
Down
hounds
at
of
the
hell back on
shipyard.
season 1.
Yeah,
I don't like
well,
shit.
Okay, I'm
I
not
ain't
telling you
into
to give
that.
anything away, but I'm telling you.
That's where the name Skinwalker
well, you know, the
comes
big
from.
the thing that's always
Had
been
6
sort
fingers.
of
They saw one on the game
unbelievable to you. It's like fantasy or somebody. It sounds like a ghost story.
Sure.
Is the story of these dire wolves that people keep seeing.
Oh,
out there.
yeah.
Well, the dire wolf went extinct like 10 to 15,000 years ago.
Sure, it did.
Now, you talking about a big
You said
wolf.
it.
That's like the ones on Games of
I
Thrones.
didn't.
I know.
Right?
I know.
Just stay tuned.
Just send
Oh,
the-
wow.
I knew it.
Travis,
Back to the
We're gonna see a
game camera.
I'll never walk in the woods again.
You probably won't.
All right, so
She's laughing about
Travis,
it.
the night the orb was bombing his trailer and he chased it out in the yard. This is the night I packed.
that's
I'm
right.
out.
Oh,
at
I
that
packed.
point.
I
I'm
packed.
gone.
many
I
days.
packed back at Ghost Indian. I ain't been around. I've been gone.
What
ever
about
since
when he
Ghost
got
Indian.
radiated and passed out at the beginning?
Oh, yeah.
of it?
It never happened to me because I left on Ghost Indian.
Well,
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
a picture
my
of the
gosh.
dire wolf, right?
The dire wolf.
I told y'all
digging
about
right
this.
Yeah.
Y'all remember my study of the Revelation? That's all I'm saying. All right, so when you say we now have spin-off shows, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
So now we're saying there's multiple locations in our country, right?
Yes.
Are they all here in the United States?
Yes, for now, because
now.
budget is continental United States.
Yeah, there you go.
So, and I know these are theories, but just like God rest his soul, in 2023, Calvin Parker went on in, and we interviewed him, and in the Pascagoula thing of the early 70s, what we have all seen, and we say this on the show, we're not coming down on this. I do hear people when they talk about things dealing with either spirits or aliens or whatever, that they're totally scam artists. They're totally trying to get attention. However, there are a group that I don't know what happened to them. They don't know what happened to them, but I do not think they're lying. Something happened to them. We don't know what it is. I would put Calvin Parker in that camp. Travis Walton, as you go around these,
Betty and Barney Hill,
as you go around the country,
Bill Bussey,
and you see this kind of stuff at other places, is it plausible? That's all I'm going to say. That some of this may be evidence that what these people were experiencing has some validity.
Yeah, that's the whole reason for creating.
How'd you like that question?
That was pretty good.
That's great. Yeah, that's the whole reason for creating the Beyond Skinwalker team.
Right.
Is so that we can send them off and see if there are other places that might be worth a deeper investigation, like we're doing at Skinwalker Ranch. And believe me, they've found some really interesting places. We've actually found a couple of places that looks like somebody just copied and pasted even the geography, the buildings, and the lore, and put it elsewhere. It's just copied on a computer game, and it's here's Skinwalker Ranch, just copy that, let's put it over here. Let's put this one over there. And it's from
they seem
coast
to pick
coast.
the same kind of environment.
Even to the point of being a prison nearby.
No.
Yeah,
Stop it.
I kid you, all the crazy stuff like water thing, it's weird.
Well, see, when you do that, you get more data points, so you can draw bigger conclusions.
Yeah, and the conclusions are that there's a lot of weird things going on that we need to investigate. Because see,
Charlie Daniels warned us about this.
he did, he absolutely did.
Down at Woolly Swamp.
Yeah.
So
That's where my brother used to want to always go coon hunting, was in Woolly Swamp.
Never.
Never.
I don't understand that concept.
They got hubs.
Because people aren't hunting.
I won't even go to a Civil War grave.
We would go coon hunting in the graveyard.
Not me. I don't walk over in that world.
So
don't nobody want no Hanks.
We're talking about a TV show,
All
but we
those
forget
soldiers
that
want
Travis was like, in a secret committee at the Pentagon investigating this when we weren't supposed to know it existed.
That's right. You've already spilled those beans, brother.
We done seen your boss on TV.
Yeah.
You've seen a little gray man before.
I want to ask him about the hearings in Congress too.
Okay, and we'll let you ask questions too at 866 We Be Big. We'll try to get some of yours in. Speedy will take your calls now at 866 We Be Big.
Rick and Bubba.
/Bubba, make the switch today. 30 seconds a pop. Questions for Dr. Travis Taylor if you want. He'll answer what he can at 866 We Be Big. Speedy's got those phone calls for you now. Bubba, did you say you had a question before we go to
Well,
calls?
yeah, I wanted to ask Travis because we've had something happen in our country we've never had before. We actually had Congress that had UAP, which I don't like the name change. I grew up with UFO. I want to stay with that. But they had UAP hearings, and one of the star witnesses was David, and I can't say his last name. Grush.
Yeah.
Who you know.
Yes.
And how do you know him?
Well, so Jay Stratton was the director of the UAP task force, and I was his chief scientist. And we had another guy that was kind of an equal level of Jay. Jay was a 2-star admiral equivalent. And the other guy was in what is now Space Force. And we needed someone that could go and start looking through all the classified programs and see if they could find evidence of crash retrieval and old programs. And so the one guy that was in Space Force said, I got a guy that's on contract for me right now that's good at that. And it was Dave Grush. And so we gave Dave the assignment, go and see what you can find out. And you see now on all the hearings what he found out. And there's a lot more to it that he can brief inside a classified environment.
Right.
But Dave is the real deal. I mean, it was his assignment to go and figure this stuff out. And then there were times when he got to a door, they would either shut the door in his face or tell him if they asked that question again, bad things would happen. So I mean, and that's why we're like, well, the Inspector General needs to know about this. Congress needs to know about this.
Adler.
What's the this headline here? Can you elaborate about this, Travis? The Skinwalker Ranch stars fought against Senator Schumer UFO legislation.
Dadgum right. Dadgum right
about?
we did. Dadgum right we did.
What was that about?
All right, because if you go and you read that the Schumer Rounds Act, if you read it, it gave eminent domain to the federal government that anything that seemed of, didn't even say it had to be proved, of non-human intelligence or unknown technical origin, that it became immediate property of the federal government under eminent domain. And so that meant if they decided, whoever they are, in some committee in the Senate, that they thought that Skinwalker Ranch had some kind of unknown technical origin, they would come take the ranch.
It's like the movie E.T.
Yep. And that's exactly right. And so we fought
Aren't
it and
they
said,
already
no,
taking
that little boy's
that is a
crying?
violation of our Fourth Amendment rights. It's a violation of the Constitution.
You ain't putting
Absolutely
an
not.
interstate through there.
Yeah.
Travis. You remember when the government showed up and they wanted E.T. and the little boy's crying his eyes out? Y'all about to take my friend?
Well, that's
And we don't-
exactly right.
I don't trust y'all. And he says we have the right to take him.
Yep.
That's what you're talking about.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Don't we have examples of them showing up taking things already?
Yes, and with no congressional oversight. And so the question is, why did they? And we helped them write that bill, and then after it left us, somebody injected that into it. And when we saw the final word go into the House and the Senate, we were like, no way. And so we started.
Not on our watch.
And if you'll look, the biggest opposition for that bill was from Alabama and from Utah.
Of course it was. Of course it was. Well, all right, Gunner, you got a question for Dr. Taylor. Go ahead.
Yeah, how y'all doing, fellas?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Dr. Travis, I do have a question for you. I love the show Skinwalker Ranch. Do you think it still could be the government watching you, or just stuff that y'all found last year? Do you think could because of more of the strange phenomena y'all been seeing?
Could you understand him?
I kind of did.
Okay, all right,
yeah.
okay,
So
okay.
do I think the government's watching? Somebody's watching us. I don't know who. Somebody's watching us, but some of the vehicles that come over are government. Some of them, like one, we had a National Science Foundation jet doing orbits over us for hours. And when we called NSF and asked them, and they said, "Oh, we had it rented out to a private company. We can't tell you who it was."
They did.
Well, look, if they won't, I mean, they
rented
can
out to
just
Chuck
watch
Schumer.
the TV show and see what y'all are doing, right? I mean,
Well, that's what we think, right? Well, maybe they're afraid we're going to find something and release it. They don't, whoever they are, don't want us to release it, right? I don't know.
John in
so
Georgia.
if you go missing,
Yeah.
we just
That's
assume.
right. You know, that's actually a
Well, I'm-
If I'm missing, I don't think life insurance will work. I got to figure it
Here we
out.
go again.
You're definitely out.
Here we go again.
Your wife perked up now.
John in Georgia, 30 seconds. Your question for Dr. Taylor.
Yeah, I'd like to know if there is some sort of an alien influence at the Skinwalker Ranch. If there's any chance that they remove the treasure from Oak Island.
Yeah, well, so our executive producer is also the producer on Oak Island. We every time we dig up something, we always go a kid that we're going to put coconut fibers down in the hole. But that we're going to open a portal one day and it's going to end up in the money pit at Oak Island.
Right.
But as far as if there's an alien influence, we don't know what it is. What we know is that the phenomena is real. And whether it's alien, whether it's some new thing of Mother Nature we don't understand, some other technology, I don't know what it is, but there is a real weirdness that is going on, and we have measured all sorts of telltale signs of it. So better than that, I don't know.
Don't go near the Euphrates River. Just take a note of that.
Yeah, because I hear she's running a little low.
Austin in Alabama. Austin, you have a question. Go right ahead.
Hey, so you know that orb thing he was talking about showed up all of a sudden and vanished all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Rick, you reckon that thing was going the speed of light?
Oh, don't you do this.
This is not him.
Let me tell you something, Austin. I'll ban you from the show.
By the way, Travis, I got somebody you need to have a conversation with today.
You love this.
Do you know he's still emailing Bubba?
If it were going the speed of light, we wouldn't have got it on a game camera.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, this goes back to a guy that shut the host show down this week. I wish you had been here.
I'm not even going to try to describe it.
Yeah. You ever had a conversation going on and you became so uninterested in it that you almost started thinking about what you need to do that day? And it just
And it went
he
on
couldn't
and
quite
on
he
and
couldn't
on.
quite, no pun intended, land the plane.
Right.
We didn't
Right.
quite know what he was. And then he keeps talking to Bubba about it. I'm not going to talk about it.
Yeah. He changed from a car speeding to a cannonball.
It sounds like it was highly influential. On
Well, I finally, after 3 days, I've said, "Love you, Matt. I'm out. I'm tapping out on this. I can't discuss this anymore."
Greg in Enterprise. Greg, go ahead.
Hey, this is for Travis. Good morning, guys.
Hey, buddy, go right ahead.
Hey, a question. If you think it may be a meteor, does the local government allow you to dig into the mountain to verify that, or you're not allowed to dig into the mountain there, the plateau?
Yeah, so a lot of people ask that question. The property line is, depending on where on the mesa there, is a few hundreds of feet beyond the edge, and sometimes it's right at the edge. And Brandon has rights to drill or do biopsies pretty much at will. And the problem is that mesa, it's like a Jenga game. And each Jenga block is bigger than a SUV, solid rock. And so we're afraid every time we go up there that we're going to pull the wrong rock and the whole thing's going to come crashing down. And if there's something really important in there, we don't want to tear it up by, just going willy-nilly in there using explosives or major excavations. So we got to be very careful about it. And then there's also the aspect of it's surrounded by Indian reservation, and we got to be, we got to be mindful of that too. We don't want to be disrespectful to any tribal property.
Travis, I'll be honest.
Now I'm quoting the Ghost Indian.
Yeah, sometimes I see what's going on and I just start screaming, dig. Just dig it up.
No,
just
but
dig the whole
what if it
thing
collapses
up.
and we lose everything?
That's the problem. If we just start digging too much, we could lose it.
Well, we just keep drilling. We're just hitting it and bouncing off of it. How are we going to get to it?
Yeah, wait till you see what we did last summer. It's crazy.
Oh, no.
All right, so season 5, Tuesday night on the History Channel. Thank you, Travis. You
thank
can
guys.
relax and enjoy your day.
Thank y'all very much.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba. Rick and Bubba.